You are the brand. You are branding yourself. You need to have 2 to 5 words that describe your brand. Who are you? And if you can't tell someone else what your brand is, then someone else is going to make your brand for you. If you're a residential real estate agent earning $200,000 a year and you want to grow your passive income, this show's for you. Learn the secrets other agents use and hear from experts in our field in order to guide you along your journey to investing in assets like apartment communities so that you can turn your commissions into cash flow. I'm Randall McLeod. Let's go, baby. All right. Welcome back to Agents Building Cash Flow. It's me, Randall McLeod. Today, we're going to talk about Daymond John, and he just came to an event that I was at today, and he had a great conversation. He was talking and chatting, and so I wanted to go over some of the key takeaways that I heard him talk about and what it means for you and how you can implement those in your business and going forward. For those of you who don't know who Daymond John is the founder and creator of FUBU. So he goes through and he tells us his story of how he got started and how he ended up getting onto the Shark Tank. One of the main things that I found interesting about his conversation is that he set up his speech in a hero's journey type of format. So if you're not familiar with what a hero's journey is, look it up, Google it, the hero's journey, and we can put a link to it in the show notes, actually. The hero's journey, you start, you go out, you explore, you go through some struggles, you have somebody that comes and finds you, and then you come back through and you push through and you survive, you become the hero, right? So it's a famous way of structuring stories like Peter Pan, like all these famous stories that you've heard, Pinocchio. They are all structured around this hero's journey and why it works so well. The Jedi, Luke Skywalker, right? His hero's journey. So the better you can tell that story, the more it will resonate with people. So one of the things that I took away from the way he had his structured was he's gone around, he had to have given this speech 100 times, right? And he's going around the country, and he wouldn't be the first person that I've gone to their events and seen something that they've put together where they have crafted their hero's journey very intentionally with a hook, story, offer, right? So the hook is, hey, check this out, boom, boom, boom. I did this to this, how I went from FUBU up to Shark Tank. That's how is essentially pitching his story. And then you tell a story, and his story is about his SHARK acronym, and we'll get into that in 1 second. And then he brings it full circle, and he didn't really have an offer other than go out and crush it, take control of your life. So that was really his offer. So it's really important when you're going out and you are putting together any kind of copy, or you're going out and you're creating any kind of content, think of that hook, story, offer. And when you tell a story, even if it's a small, short story, try to do it in a hero's journey. And so the takeaway that I got from him, he is saying, this is my path, but you guys are the hero. So he's trying to present it the whole time as we, the listener, was the hero, and he is the guide taking us on that journey, right? So in every hero's journey, you need a guide, and that guide in his pitch was that he is going to be our guide through this speech. So keep that in mind, again, when you're going out, you're creating anything and making any kind of content. And so again, anytime you are selling anything, and we're all in real estate, we're looking to grow our active and passive incomes, the importance of storytelling and getting that story down is huge. There's a saying, facts tell and stories sell. So if you can relate and tell a story, then you will end up selling more, and you won't feel like you're selling. You are just having a conversation or telling, right? So it's really important that you get this down and you work on it and you practice it. So I sat and we went to this event. It was an event here in San Antonio. So I'm going to break down his acronym, SHARK. He related a lot of stuff back to the Shark Tank and how it's influenced his life and impacted his life and the things that he's done. The people on the show, I mean, he had a bunch of jokes, even though they were canned and kind of throwaway jokes. But his acronym for being a successful entrepreneur and being successful in this game was SHARK. Okay. So S is for set goals, right? It sounds cliche, but he goes through and tells his story of him setting goals, how he wanted to meet Muhammad Ali, how he wanted to meet Prince, how he wanted to meet Michael Jackson. And then he set out on a mission when he was very poor to go do those things and how he achieved those goals. So again, he's telling this story. He's relating it to the things and the trials that he had to go through in order to get to the position that he could actually go meet these heroes of his, and how he ended up being a business partner with Muhammad Ali. So S, set goals. H is for homework. Do your homework. He had a lot of little sayings that he threw in that weren't exactly part of his speech, but there were things that he threw in. And one was about his mom. And she said, your day job's not going to make you rich. Your homework is going to make you rich. And so H is for homework. And here's the story that he related to doing homework. He was out listening to rap music, listening to hip hop, and he was in the scene. And he was looking at things that people were wearing and seeing what they were doing. And he realized that he was able to go and create a product that people would want. And he did the homework on how to actually get it into people's hands. He did the legwork on running around, putting a shirt on somebody when they were shooting their music video. So he got all this advertising. And then when he finally got to a point to where he had somebody, it was LL Cool J, actually wearing his stuff in a picture, he took that picture and he did some homework to figure out who all the distributors were who would be able to get his clothing into stores. Found out where they were going to be. He was like, I don't have any money. There's no way that I can go see these people individually. Who's going to take a meeting with me? He did the homework, found out where they were going to be all at once at a conference, and it's called the Magic Conference in Nevada. And he flew out there, showed up, didn't have a ticket, didn't have anything. And so he did a bunch of marketing to people while he was out there, ended up selling a ton of product, $300,000 worth of orders. And he had no way of actually filling those orders because he didn't have any money. But the point is, he did the homework to find out where they were going to be, thought it through, and then he went and executed. So another thing he talks about, so that's S, the H is for homework, the A is for more. Another thing that he talked about in there was the fact that success looks so many different ways, right? Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean that you're successful. And that was him trying to relate to people who don't have as much money as him and put them on their own hero's journey and be the guide and take you through. But he related A as amor, love, and how he worked so much that he ended up getting a divorce. And so he wasn't able to see his kids as much as he wanted to. And he realized it was because he put himself in that position, because he stopped taking care of the things that he loved and the people that he loved and focused only on business. And so while that was his version of success and that could be yours, it is something that he recommends not doing looking back. And so he started his whole speech with success can look and feel so many different ways. You're successful if you're getting your kids out to school. You're successful if you're going in and providing a service to somebody, right? And so it's one of those things about enjoy the journey along the way. It's not a destination, it's a journey. So A is for amour and love. Focus on your family, things you love, people, right? All that good stuff.
We're proud to be sponsored by Ridgeline Investment Group. Ridgeline has a track record of transacting more than $53 million in assets throughout Texas. Ridgeline is currently looking to acquire 100 to 200 unit Class B multifamily communities between 5 and 20 million in San Antonio, Temple, Waco, Tyler, and other Texas secondary markets. To learn more about Ridgeline Investment Group, visit www.ridgelineig.com.
All right. So we're SHAR, the R. Remember, you are the brand. All right. So he is big into personal branding, as are a lot of the sharks. And he flipped through a bunch of pictures that he had with famous people, things that he's done, how he's a presidential ambassador for an organization. I don't remember exactly what it was, but how you are the brand. You are branding yourself. And he highly recommends that everybody that is in your family, so yourself, you need to have 2 to 5 words that describe your brand. Who are you? And if you can't tell someone else what your brand is in 2 to 5 words, then someone else is going to make your brand for you. He says this for setting goals too. If you don't set your goals, then you're letting other people set your goals for you, right? So it's a big thing about being intentional about your life. And just remember that you're your own brand. Brand yourself. And so he recommends that everybody in your company, if you run a company, should have 2 to 5 words that describe them, and you should know them. So if you haven't asked your people, hey, 2 to 5 words, what describes you? Then you're not doing your job as the owner and the manager in order to figure out who your people are and make sure that they are like right butt, right seat, essentially. That's kind of how we promoted it. And then finally, K. K is for keep on swimming. And he really wrapped that up pretty quickly because he was just talking and he was like, basically, K is keep on swimming. We're all doing it right now. You guys are here. You're in this event and you guys are networking, doing your thing. So he didn't really talk too much about the K part of it, but keep on swimming. And so it's really about being resilient and staying with it, right? The event was called Era of Entrepreneurship. So he's really talking to not just realtors, but anybody who's running a business and a company. It's difficult and it can be trying at times, but K is for keep on swimming, right? All right. So that was his acronym, and that's really the main crux of his speech and his commentary. One thing that really stuck out for me, and this is one reason I love guys like Richard Bronson and a lot of entrepreneurs who have success, he was disruptive, right? He was just inventive with his marketing. He didn't have money. And so he didn't have a way of just throwing dollars at something and that was the solution. He had to really sit down and think and say, how do I get in front of these people? And it was almost like guerrilla marketing tactics, right? And that's one thing about Richard Branson too. If you haven't done any research on him or listened to how he got Virgin Records going and all of that, genius when it comes to marketing. But when you listen to Daymond talk and the way he put together his company, he had that order for $300,000. He came home. He was like, Mom, I don't really know how to fill this order. I don't know where I'm going to get this money from. And his mom ended up having faith in him. So she was, again, his guide and savior, came through and helped him go mortgage the house, got $100,000 out of the house so that he could make these orders. And again, he just tells this story of getting in front of these distributors. I don't think he was able to fill all of those orders. And so he wasn't able to deliver that. But then he started looking around. He found this one company, I think it was Samsung, and their textile division. They're like, look, we're going to fill all your orders. We'll do everything for you. You just have to go out and sell at least $5 million worth of clothing in the first 3 years. And he was like, man, I don't know if I can do that. But he took the deal because he had to take the deal. He needed to get it done. And so he partnered with these guys and ended up selling $30 million worth of clothes in the first 3 months. So like blew it out of the water and he was off to the races and off and running. So again, it was his way of getting one. It started with getting LL Cool J to wear one of his shirts. And he took a picture of LL Cool J wearing the shirt. And then he took that to that Magic conference, got in front of all these people and just having the ability to do that. He was living in Queens. He went to these shop owners in Queens and all around New York. They have these roll up doors, right? These metal, it's almost like storage facility doors that you roll up. And he went to them and said, look, you guys have these doors. There's really nothing on them. Would you be okay if I painted something nice on them, marketing a local business here, right? Or I don't think he said marketing, but he said supporting a local business. And so again, it was just thinking outside the box and actually utilizing space that wasn't being used, had graffiti on it. So he was painting over the graffiti and he just went out and he started putting up all these signs all around the city that said authorized FUBU dealer, right? That was all it said. And it had his logo on it. And then he told a stat. He had somebody go back and look at how much that marketing would have cost. Had he done it, it was 13 million or something. Getting professionals like LL Cool J, all these other rappers to wear his stuff, another $40 million worth of like free advertising just because he had 10 shirts that he had at the time that he was going out putting on these rappers while they were going on music videos. And he'd have to take it back and go wash it or take it, wear it somewhere himself, and then just give it out. So again, just the genius behind and the hustle behind free marketing, free advertising, and how that can apply to you. Sit and think and know who your customers are, do the homework, and then get in front of them. Like, how can you get in front of them for no money? If you do that exercise in your mind, then you'll have to get creative and you'll have to start thinking of ways that you can do it. And it's a phenomenal way to look at the business. All right. So again, just to wrap it up, I highly encourage you, and I've done it on many, many episodes, to go and set some goals, right? Be in charge of your own destiny. Don't let other people set your goals for you. Get out and do the homework, right? Again, just do the work. I love that saying, just do the work. You are the brand. Remember to brand yourself. Pick your 2 to 5 words that brand you, and then don't be shy about telling people, like, this is me, boom. Have your 3-word statement that defines you, defines who you are and what you're all about. And then finally, just keep swimming, right? Keep swimming, keep at it, and you are going to be successful, and we're all going to grow some cash flow together. Let's do it. Thanks for joining me on this episode. I'll catch you on the next one.
Surprisingly, most of the agents we speak with got into real estate hoping to gain passive income and become work optional. However, only 1 in 5 ever start investing. Most are simply too afraid to start. Once you get educated by listening to this show, you'll be able to overcome that fear and become the 1 in 5 who are finding financial freedom. Don't miss a single episode. If you want to stay up to date, the best way is to make sure you're subscribed. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do it now. And we'll catch you on the next episode.